Hi, I'm Sarah McCrudden from Carson Research, and today I'm going to show you how to make an access reminder pop-up that will give a specific message to an individual who has logged into your Access database. So this is actually going to rely on a login screen, which I used some code that was taken from another YouTube video. So it was actually made by someone named Austin72406. So I will put a link to his video in the comments section for this video. Otherwise, I would just be going over code that is pretty much literally taken exactly from his video, so there's no point in me rehashing what he has already taught on the web. But I did want to show how to do something a little bit different than the tasks that he launched in his video. I wanted to show how to do a pop-up reminder that was requested by one of our clients when we built an Access database for them. And it's pretty easy to build, so I thought that I would show everyone how to do it. So first and foremost, you're going to have this code from the login screen, which again, you're going to have to reference that other video if you want to learn how to do this. So once you have that in place, we have, so you can see on this that I have code that's going to open up the navigation menu. And the navigation menu is the main part where they choose the different actions that they can take for their database. But it's also going to open the login screen. Or no, it's also going to open the reminder pop-up screen. So let's look at the reminder pop-up. So this is going to be based on a couple of things. It's going to be based on an admin table, which is reviewed in Austin's video. It talks about how to set up a table for the individual logins. So these are the users, their login ID, and their password that they would be using to get in when this login screen pops up when the database first opens. Using that, we are going to make it so that this reminder will pop up based on who the user is, and we'll give them their reminders which they can dismiss so that they won't continue to show. So we also have a reminders table. Pretty straightforward. It's just going to assign an auto number for the reminder ID. We're going to have text for staff to remind, the remind me date, the text for the reminder itself, dismiss the reminder as a yes, no, and these two are optional. These were just for something that we built in that I'm not going to go over. So this is just an example of a reminder that I wrote to myself. This is your reminder. Make sure you finish this Access video. But this has been dismissed. We're going to turn that off. So we have a form that is actually just for entering reminders. This is, again, very straightforward. Just has the fields for, it's based on this reminders table. It just has the fields that you would enter into the reminder table. And the only thing about it that is, so the only thing about it that's at all unusual is that this drop-down table needs to be sourced from the reminders or from the admin table, like that they can only choose one of the usernames so that you don't have staff typing in things and having them not match with your actual data fields. So the way to do that, just to quickly go over that, is your row source. For row source, if you press that dot, you get the actual query builder for the row source. So we would show the admin table here, and then we would choose login ID and username as the row source. The bound column is 1. That marks the user ID as the bound column. So that makes it so that when I select from here, it's only going to show the two items two possible items under username. Okay, so we have that. So that's where people are going to enter their reminders. Now, all we need to do for our reminder pop-up is build this form that is just going to be, it has your field for reminder, and then your field for dismiss reminder. Those are your control sources. The form, though, so rather than just selecting your record source as being the table for reminders, instead you're going to press that ... You're going to show the admin table and your reminders table here. You're going to connect them by staff to remind. The login ID is the same as the staff to remind. Okay, so that shows only, we're going to have the reminder ID, the staff to remind, the reminder, the remind me date, and the dismiss reminder. So our criteria, this is what's going to make it only show the ones that are relevant. This, for staff to remind, it's code for the forms login text login. Now that is from our login form. If we look at this in design view, the name for this field is text login. So whatever you named your field where they're typing in their login ID, that's what you need to have under your criteria here. So you can just type it as forms in the brackets with an exclamation point, the name of your form, mine is called login, with brackets, exclamation point, and then the name of your field in brackets. So that's going to only pull up reminders where the staff to remind is the same as the login that was typed in on the login screen. You want all the reminders. The remind me date, the criteria for that is less than or equal to date with two parentheses. This will only show those reminders that are either from today, because date with just the empty parentheses will return today's value, or from before today. So this makes it so that they can type in a reminder and say, I don't want to be reminded about this until a month from now, and then that won't keep popping up every time that they log in. It's only going to start showing as of the day that you said you wanted to be reminded, and then continue showing up until it's marked as dismissed. So that's the last piece, is that we want dismiss reminder to be false, because we only want the pop-up to show reminders that have not been dismissed already. If they've already been dismissed, we don't want to keep being reminded of them. That's kind of the whole point of having it dismissed. Okay? So right now it doesn't show any results because I don't have the login up. But if I run, so let's close all of these. If I run the login screen in form view, which this is how I have my database set so that it will hide the navigation pane and it will just launch this login and not have the option to close it. They have to fill in the login before they can go anywhere else. It does a dialog box as well. So I type in my user ID and my password. Okay, so then when I click OK, it's going to log me in. It's going to pull up the navigation pane, or the navigation form rather, and it's also going to pull up my pop-up for reminders where the login ID matches my ID, because I only want to see reminders that were left for me. Okay, so it says my login credentials are verified, and that's my name. So now it gave me the reminder pop-up. I have one reminder. It's the one that I had in there, remember, in the table. This is your reminder. Make sure to finish this Access video. And since it wasn't marked as dismissed, it keeps showing up. So if I press close reminder, this is just a button that has the close form command on it. This just closes this reminder screen so I don't have to look at it anymore. I can close it here as well, but it's still going to keep showing up for me. So I close it just to be like, okay, I've been reminded, that's nice. But if I log in again and I choose to dismiss it, so let's try that. So again, users would only be seeing this login screen when they first come in because they don't have access to the navigation pane. It's just that since I have the navigation pane open, I can log in as many times as I want to show you guys how this works. Okay, so now this time I say, I don't want to see this reminder again. I got it. I got it, then I need to finish the video. Okay, so I mark do not show this reminder again, close reminder. Now, if I log in, I have 0 reminders. There's 0. So this is because, remember, we have the criteria set on record source. This is the only place where we need to do anything, is set it on record source, that I wanted to match my forms login, text login. I want the remind me date to be less than or equal to today, and I want the dismiss reminder to be false. So now that that reminder has been dismissed, it's not showing up anymore as a pop-up. So the cool thing about how you can use this is that, let's take a look at the reminders form. So if I'm logged in as Sarah, and I want to do a new entry. So let's say I want to show the reminder starting today, and I want to remind, I'm not putting in a reminder for myself, I'm putting in a reminder for Jane Doe, okay? So I'm putting in a reminder for someone else who uses this database, and this would, ideally the setup for this is that you have different front ends for multiple users tied to one back-end database, and that each of your front-end users are logging in with their own individual login, which is set in your admin table. So using this, I could be like, okay, I want to have this reminder starting on this date. I want to remind my coworker, Jane Doe, that she needs to call John Smith by close of business today. Okay? So I turn that off. So now, we look in the table, we see that it's in here, and it's not yet been dismissed, obviously, because it hasn't come up yet. So now, if I log in and I'm Jane Doe, it comes up as having one reminder, and this is what I need to remember. So it's a great way for you to set either reminders for yourself or for them to set reminders for other people who use the database. And then the other person can decide when they want to dismiss it or whether they want to keep being reminded of it. If it's something they haven't taken care of yet, they can just close it without dismissing it, and then next time they log in, they'll get that reminder again. You can also set it up, I've done with the database for the clients that we worked with. I set up one for all staff. Okay? So then, if we did that, then if I set a new reminder, I want to show this reminder starting today. I want to remind all staff, and I want all staff to be reminded that I want someone needs to call John Smith. I don't just want it to be a reminder for Jane Doe anymore. I want anyone to call John Smith. Someone needs to call John Smith by close of business. Okay? So then, if I've done that, I can take the reminder pop-up, go back to our record source, the form, and I can say that I either want the staff to remind to match forms login, text login, or I want it to be all staff. And then these need to remain the same. We only want to see it for before today or today, and we only want to see it if it hasn't been dismissed. So now, if I log in, see, I have one reminder. This was the one that was set for all staff. Someone needs to call John Smith by today. So now the one thing you need to keep in mind if you're using the all staff feature is that you don't want to set something that you want to be a reminder that everybody sees, even after someone has taken care of it. So you wouldn't want to use this for something like everybody needs to turn in their, I don't know, signed forms by the end of today. Because then, if someone dismisses it and closes it, then the next time someone logs in, so the next time Jane Doe logs in, she's going to have 0 reminders. Okay? So you don't want to have that happen because then Jane Doe never got to see it. You only want to make sure that you're using this in a situation where the reminder is something like someone needs to call John Smith. So you want this reminder in there that you need somebody to take care of this, and as soon as anyone on your staff takes care of it, they can mark it as dismissed. And then when anyone else logs in, they don't have to see something that's already been taken care of. So that, in a nutshell, is how to do your reminder pop-up. I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments, and I will be posting some more Access videos very soon. Thanks.